Hello, thanks for joining us for Introduction to Atlassian's Opsgenie. My name is Kate Clavitt, and I'm a Product Marketing Manager with the Atlassian Opsgenie team. Today, we're going to go through a brief overview of Opsgenie, what it does, how it helps. We'll talk through some housekeeping items, and then I'm going to give a live demo. We'll go through your questions at the end. If you're watching the on-demand version of the webinar, feel free to put your questions in the Atlassian community, and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we can. Before we dive in, just make sure that if you're joining us for the live version of the webinar, that you submit Q&A using the Q&A widget. We have a list of resources available to you. Feel free to check those out. And we'll also send a recording of the webinar within a few days after the event, so look out for that. Some networks can cause slides to advance more slowly than others. If slides are lagging for you, if you push F5 or refresh your page, that should really help you out. There's not a dial-in number for this webinar, so if you're having audio quality issues, make sure your computer speakers or your headset are properly selected and that the volume's turned up so you can hear the presentation. Opsgenie is a modern incident management and response solution that integrates with your entire IT and dev stack. Opsgenie has over 200 pre-built out-of-the-box integrations with the most popular ITSM tools. We can also integrate using an API, email, or using JSON or HTTPS. Opsgenie came to be because in a typical environment, you've got your IT and dev stack on one side, and then you have your operation teams on the other. Typically, there are monitoring tools in the middle. Without a tool like Opsgenie, your team is going to be completely inundated with alerts. Sometimes the alerts don't make sense, sometimes they don't have the necessary information for team members to take action, and sometimes they're just simply not relevant. This means that important notifications get missed. Team members get alerts that don't matter to them, that they can't do anything about, and eventually everybody's just tired of alerts. They turn off the phone, they're not paying attention, and important alerts or incidents are missed or go undetected. Before we go further, let's talk about what Opsgenie means by an alert. In the context of Opsgenie, an alert is information about an event or occurrence that needs attention. For example, if you're using an AWS instance and you're slowly running out of space, you might set up alerts to let you know when you're at 50% capacity or 75% capacity. So it's something that you need to know about so you can do something, but it might not necessarily be an outage or a major disruption. An Opsgenie incident is typically a major incident, an event that causes a major disruption or reduction in the quality of service, which requires an emergency response. For example, if you are a fintech company and a customer cannot access their account information or see the balance in their account because of a bug in code that was deployed or because a server is disconnected, so when they log in, they just see no information or can't load page, that is a major incident because it's a disruption or a reduction in the quality of service to your customer. So as alerting progressed and became a bit more modern, folks would take their IT dev stack and their monitoring tools, and then Opsgenie would live between the monitoring tools and the operations teams, acting as a dispatcher, collecting information. So Opsgenie has a bidirectional integration with monitoring tools, and they can talk back and forth. So if you take an action in one system, it's going to be recorded in Opsgenie as well. If you take action in Opsgenie, it's going to be recorded in your monitoring tool, whether that be Datadog, whether that be Nagios, etc. Opsgenie follows the entire life cycle of the alert, all actions taken to respond to or resolve that alert, and records that in your logs and in our reporting. Traditional incident management always determined who should be alerted, when should they be alerted, how, and then has it been acknowledged and should it be escalated. Modern incident management goes a step further. Modern incident management with Opsgenie reduces the noise associated with all of your monitoring tools by putting them through a single pane of glass and then dispatching them based on source, content, and time. Connecting your monitoring and ITSM tools with Opsgenie enables you to consolidate, deduplicate, and prioritize everything in one place before it gets passed on to your dev team, before it gets passed on to your ops team. So then by the time it gets there, you're only letting the right people know at the right time with the right channel. You can also centralize your incident response by using Opsgenie and ChatOps, like popular integrations with Slack and Microsoft Teams. At the end of the day, everything is recorded and able to be reported and analyzed. Modern incident management often leverages chat tools. It's a favorite method of communication because it's easy, it's quick, everything is in one place. Centralizing incident management in a tool like Slack is very commonplace. It provides a place of communication and a place of action. Another change in practice involves leveraging agile ticketing and project management solutions. And you still want to be able to receive alerts from those as well. Opsgenie can help you do that by centralizing the information in one place. So that brings us to modern incident management. So in our modern IT environment, we have an IT dev stack, monitoring tools, Opsgenie ticketing systems, ChatOps, documentation and reporting, and then we've got our operation team at the center. The main difference is the automation involved. So we're taking that manual work out of it and saving time, so that way your operations teams can focus their time on higher value work that's less manual. And then the entire life cycle of that alert kicked off from your monitoring tool is recorded for documentation and reporting purposes. So you have full visibility and full accountability. So just to review, the main change with modern incident management and response is that automation piece. We're relying on integrations between all of our tooling and then the automation that enables our teams to focus on what's important and to reduce their manual workload. Opsgenie provides you with alerting and on-call management. So that way when an alert is routed, it's routed to someone who's on call and able to take action. It records and synchronizes the information across all of your systems. Folks are able to respond to alerts and incidents directly from Slack and other tools, bringing the work where the people are and reducing context switching and saving time. So now that we've discussed modern incident management and what Opsgenie brings to the table, let's get into the demo. Today I'm going to take you through how to set up a team. We're going to do a high-level overview of integrations, policies, profile settings, alert actions, incident response, and reporting. This is designed to give you a quick overview of Opsgenie, a quick introduction. This introduction isn't designed to be a deep technical dive. We just want to be able to give you a full picture of what Opsgenie has, what capabilities it offers, and how it can improve your incident response and remediation process. Okay, let's dive in. So once you log into Opsgenie, you're going to come into the alerts dashboard. And the reason for that is, if you're logging into Opsgenie, you're likely logging in to take action on an alert. So we want to put that right at the front for easy access. First thing before you create a team is you want to add users. So the first thing you do is go to settings and users. You're going to add folks here, and then they'll receive an invitation to verify and authenticate their account. Teams are the organizational core of Opsgenie. They're very easy to set up. You can add a member by typing a user's name, click add, and then they'll receive an invitation to join your team and verify their account. The two main roles are admin and user. So the admin, think of an admin as someone who has access to configure everything, and a user, someone who has access to take action on alerts. Opsgenie also has custom roles that you can set up based on what you'd like them to have access to. So for example, if I create a custom team role, I can determine maybe I only want someone who can manage team members. I can select that. And now if I go back to members, I can assign that custom team role to someone. So now that we've got our team set up and our roles just determined, let's start integration. So the next thing you need to do in order to start seeing value from Opsgenie is set up an integration. As I mentioned before, we have over 200 pre-built integrations available out of the box. We can integrate using an API, email, and we can pretty much accept anything that sends JSON or HTTPS. So these are the integrations that we've already configured, but for demo purposes, I'm going to show you what it looks like to add a new integration. But for today's purposes, I'm going to show you what it looks like to set up our Jira Service Desk integration. And now we've come into the integration settings. So all the instructions in order to set up the webhook on the Jira Service Desk side are up here. You want to assign your integration to a team, and you can also adjust the name based on your purposes. I'm going to call this Kate's to differentiate it from the other Jira Service Desk integration that's set up. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a bi-directional integration. So this piece determines if an issue or a record comes through in Jira Service Desk and we create an alert in Opsgenie, what information do we want to go back to Jira Service Desk? So for example, if an alert is acknowledged in Opsgenie, add it as a comment to the issue in Jira Service Desk. If an alert is closed in Opsgenie, then resolve the issue in Jira Service Desk, and so on. So that way you can take action in Opsgenie, but it's still recorded in Jira Service Desk. Down here is where you determine if you want an issue created in Jira Service Desk for an alert generated by another tool in Opsgenie. If Datadog sends an alert to Opsgenie, do you want an issue created in Jira Service Desk? The important piece of this, you certainly don't want to be creating a Jira Service Desk issue for every single alert that comes through Opsgenie. So you're going to want to utilize the alert filter down here. So we say match one or more conditions below. So let's say the source contains Datadog. And the priority equals P2. We'll say the priority is greater than P3. So you're going to get P2 and P1 alerts that will create an issue in Jira Service Desk only if the source is coming from Datadog. But as you can see, you can utilize source, content, time. There's a lot of different modifiers to ensure that you're only creating issues for relevant alerts. And Opsgenie does have two tabs for setting up integrations. We have a very simple high-level tab, which is what we're on now, or you can click into the advanced tab. I'll show you that in just a moment, where you can just get a lot more granular control of how the integration works. The purpose of the first tab is to help you get the integration up and running quickly. So now that we've determined how we want Opsgenie to talk to Jira Service Desk and how we want Jira Service Desk to talk back to Opsgenie, we fill in the issue type, name, Jira Service Desk URL. We'll need to fill in our username and then also create an API token from the Jira Service Desk side of things and a project key. So that way we can fully connect to our Jira Service Desk instance. And then you just click Save. But as I mentioned, let's go back to our team and I'll show you what the Advanced tab looks like. So this is where you get that more granular control. So you can modify the filter further here. You can also customize what information is listed in the message. Maybe you want the issue key listed. You just drag and drop. Maybe you want the issue type listed in the message. Simply drag and drop. Priority, you can customize the priority. Maybe you always want any issue coming from Jira Service Desk to create a P1 critical alert in Opsgenie. You can customize the source. So if it's coming from, maybe you have multiple Jira Service Desk integrations, I can call that Kate's Jira Service Desk integration. You can also add these items to tags. And then actions is something that we offer, which enables you to take a customized action. That's a more advanced feature of Opsgenie that we're not going to get into today, but I do encourage you to read up on that. We also have some videos on YouTube. The other thing that I want to point out is our alias field. So the alias is a unique identifier for an alert that prevents duplication of alerts. So when we go back to the alerts dashboard, I'll show you, but basically what happens is if Opsgenie receives a duplicate of an alert, instead of alerting you again, it's just going to increase the count of the alert, and that's done based on the alias. Now that that's all set, let's head back to our Teams page. So you can go through the on-call schedule and escalation policies. So once your team is created, your users are added, your members are added. When you click into a team, this is the screen that you're going to see. So we'll start at the bottom and go up. So down here, you are able to set up multiple rotations. You can also add different schedules by clicking the Add Schedule button. By setting up your on-call schedule in Opsgenie, you're only routing alerts to people who are able to actually take action on that alert. So I'll click into this rotation. There's different rotation types. You can do daily, weekly, or custom. So a common application is a follow the sun schedule. Other folks have a working hours schedule, and an off hours schedule. You can end it on a particular date or restrict it to time intervals. So say I wanted to change this particular rotation to be off hours. I'll name that off hours. And then we'll go down here, time of day. Let's change that to weekday and time of day. So for us, off hours start Friday at 1600 and they end Monday at 6 a.m. Okay, so then all I need to do is click update and that schedule will take. I'm not going to save that just because I don't want to mess up the rotation I've got going here. The other thing that you can do is at a glance, which is available through our mobile application as well as our web app, is you can override a schedule. So I can, let's go to Sunday, click override. So change it to Saturday. I'm going to put Ollie there and then click add, and that shows you here the final schedule Ollie's going to take over. We do have other mechanisms in place like alert forwarding for vacations and long-term vacations and things like that. But this is great because at a glance, if you can't make it to a meeting or you need somebody to cover for you so you can take a phone call, take your kids to the doctor, take the dog outside, you can have someone cover for in short term. Okay, so that covers the on-call schedule piece. Add this to your calendar. You can download it, export it, clone it, edit it. You can also delete it. You can additionally disable rotations or schedules temporarily. So now let's go to routing rules and escalation policies. Routing rules and escalation policies work basically hand in hand to make sure that the right person is being alerted at the right time. So this is a pretty standard basic escalation policy, but you have a lot of flexibility in order to build this out and make changes depending on your specific use case. So naturally you want to give it a name and then edit the escalation rules. So in this case, I'm just going to click into edit. So if 0 minutes, we want to notify the on-call user in the schedule. Very simple. If it's not acknowledged within 5 minutes, we're going to notify the next user in the rotation. After 10 minutes, we're going to notify all members of the service desk team. Another common application is for folks to notify the manager for items that have very short SLA windows. You might want to notify the manager as a last step to make sure that someone is going to get on top of that alert, acknowledge it, work on it, make sure that the problem's being fixed. You also have the option to repeat the escalation. Okay, and then you just click update. The next thing we're going to look at is routing rules. Routing the alerts to the service desk schedule. So that's going to route to the schedule. We have a few different options. You can also route alerts to no one, which means that if an alert comes through, no one's going to be alerted, but Opsgenie is going to record that. So for example, a common application is if an alert priority is less than P3, so it's P4 or P5, we'll route it to no one. This way, folks are not receiving alerts in the middle of the night that don't need immediate attention. Just simply, I'll call this low priority rule and click add. The other thing that I want to point out, if you don't route to the escalation policy, the alert is not going to be escalated. So in this case, the way that this is set up, if an alert comes through, it's just going to route to the schedule. It's not going to route to the escalation that we set up. So let's select the escalation to ensure that it gets escalated. So a common mistake I've seen with folks when they're first using Opsgenie is they route to the schedule instead of the escalation, and then they don't understand why the alert's not getting escalated. But that covers on a high level routing rules and escalation policies. The next thing we're going to take a look at are alert policies. Alert policies are global or team-based rules that indicate an adjustment or add something to the corresponding alert. So let's add an alert policy and take a look. So we'll call this the critical policy, enable policy when created. Also, if you want other policies to continue, make sure that you hit continue with the next policy, otherwise it's just going to cover this policy and stop. Let's match one or more conditions below. Message contains critical. The priority is P1. Simply click create and enable policy, and that's going to show here. So that's a high level of alert policies. And again, they can be either global or team-based. I will say that global policies are applied first. So when you're setting that up, be aware if you are creating a team-based alert, be aware of what the global policies are and how they interact. Notification policies are a team-based rule that allow you to auto-restart, delay, suppress, or auto-close. A common thing is delay or suppress. Enable that policy and we'll filter that out. If the priority is P5, let's suppress it to a specific time interval. So let's do weekday and time of day. So Monday through Friday on off hours. So we'll start at 1600 and we'll end it at 6 a.m. Then we'll delay or suppress it. And you can do that until 8:30 that morning. So we'll set this to 8:30. So from Monday 1600 to Friday 8:30 a.m. And then what we can do is delay those low priority alerts until 8:30 in the morning. Perfect. Then create and enable policy. Okay, so now that we've gone through policies, let's take a look at our profile. So this has all my information in here. It's got my customer name, my full name, my role, etc. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that your email is correct and your name is correct. You also have the option to set a time zone. Notifications determine how you're notified when an alert comes through. You have the option to be notified through email, text message, phone call, or a mobile push notification. So I'm going to add an email here, and then I'm going to have to verify it. I can also add a mobile number, and then here, by clicking on this, I can connect my smartphone with the mobile app and get mobile push notifications. But I just want to take you into notification rules. So here, you're going to set up different notification rules for when an alert comes in. So let's click in here and see what's going on. So for a new alert, and I want to filter it, so perhaps for P1 alerts, then after 0 minutes, email me, text me, call me. And then I can also repeat that to make sure that that alert gets my attention and I'm taking care of it. So we'll just click save. Now, the one thing I will say is if you're using the alert filters, make sure you have a catch-all. So what that means is I've just created a specific notification rule for a new alert that's P1, but I also want to create a notification rule for a new alert that matches all alerts. So we'll call this new alert catch-all. Match all alerts, then let's add a notification method. Let's say text message is my preferred notification method. I can click save. All set. So that's a very quick look at the notification rules. I did mention to you before the forwarding rules. If you're going on vacation, I can add a forwarding rule if I'm going to be on vacation next week. Let's say starting Sunday to the 15th, I can forward all of my notifications to Ollie, and then I'll click save. Let's take a look at the alerts dashboard. Here you can see that alert for the alert forwarding that I just set up right in the dashboard. But let's scroll down. So this one here is an alert that's been deduplicated. If multiple of a single alert are sent to Opsgenie, instead of alerting you more than once, Opsgenie will just increase the count of that alert, and that's shown here. Here's where the tags appear. The team that's assigned the alert is right here. The priority is in this corner here. You can quickly copy the message to this alert and share it. And then the alert status is here. It's been closed. So let's just click in for a moment. You can see all the alert details, the impacted services, the type of alert, severity, if there's a linked Jira software issue or a linked Jira service desk issue or ticket. And then let's go into the activity log. We can see that Sammy, me, viewed it on the web. It was sent to Slack. You can see the full history of what happened with this particular alert. And so that goes back into the reporting. Opsgenie is recording the entire life cycle of the alert. Let's go back to the alerts dashboard. Is this ellipsis here? You do have options to customize the actions that show up. So for example, pinging or restarting a server, that will show up here if you set that up. And that's that actions piece that I had mentioned earlier. So now that we've covered the alerting piece, let's go quickly and touch on the incidents piece. So if I click into an incident, this is an incident that's already occurred. So Opsgenie offers different methods of communication during an incident. You can use Opsgenie's Incident Command Center, which includes video conference bridge, as well as a chat room. We also allow you to send status updates to stakeholders. We also give you the ability to open a Slack channel specifically for that incident. So here's that incident Slack channel. We have two integrations with Slack. We have a Slack app for alerting and a Slack app for incidents. This particular integration allows you to open an incident dedicated Slack channel, which will automatically invite all of the relevant responders. All the information related to the alert is posted in the channel, and then you can copy, you can add stakeholders, you can update the priority, but you can also add relevant information to the incident timeline. So I've just done that. Let's go back. I can also see all the alerts that were associated with this incident. The next thing that I want to show you is the impacted services are all listed here, and then the potential causes. So we have a connection with Bitbucket that allows you to determine if there's any correlation between an active incident and a deployment. So if you click the investigate button, once you connect Bitbucket and Opsgenie, you come to what we call the incident investigation view. So I can see since July 29th, I can also filter that to change the time frame. I can also filter this to change the environment. The green dots are successful deployments. The red triangles are failed. The gray line is an incident. And once we identify a potential cause, we have the orange circle here. So if I click on this, it shows me the deployment. Once you select a deployment or a commit, it's going to show down here, and it shows you which developer deployed that piece, and then you can add that as a potential cause. So I can select it, and that will add it to the incident details. So the potential causes are added. Now we have multiple potential causes for this particular incident. And then we have linked Jira software issues. You can see those here. And then linked Jira Service Desk records. I can also click link issue to link to others, and I can select an additional issue. Same thing down here. If I want to determine the full impact of the incident, I can search for tickets that are related. So this all involves billing. These are probably all related. I can link that issue as well. So that's a quick look at the incident investigation view, and then at the various options for communication that you have at your fingertips within Opsgenie. Now we're going to take a quick look at the reporting. Here we have the monthly overview report, which is helpful. It gives you a high level of the number of alerts created, the mean time to acknowledge, mean time to resolve. It gives you an idea of which team is fielding the most alerts. And then you get an alert count for the different hours of the day, and then alerts created per day. So if I looked at this, I'd say, okay, well, August 3rd was a very high day. What happened on that day? And then I can try to correlate different occurrences. If there are particular days where alerts are very noisy, you can kind of dive into that. You can see the other reports here, alerting reports. You can determine your noisiest alert source. But I want to take you through the DevOps metrics report. So this is related to that information I showed you earlier in the incident investigation view. So these are global DevOps metrics for the entire account. So this shows our deployment frequency, our change failure ratio, and our mean time to resolve incidents. And then you've got the development frequency trends, change failure trends, time to resolve trends, and then it shows you the full number of deployments, the number of incidents. So of course this is a demo account, but if you had 6 deployments and 7 incidents, you might want to look into, what is happening there? Why do we have a deployment for each incident, etc. And then this shows you the deployment failures over time. So something really fishy happened on August 3rd. We saw that's when the most alerts were generated. We also had an incident, so we want to definitely look into whatever was going on that day. And then this shows service health versus team reaction time. This is a really cool report. It really helps drive the accountability of deployments and helps you really identify problems with specific commits, etc. So before we move on, I just quickly want to show you the postmortem. So this postmortem is already underway, but if it wasn't, we'd be able to open that, and this is the template, able to fill out all the information. But the key that you can add relevant attachments, you can also add related incidents. The other great thing is that all of the relevant issues are also compiled and put directly within the incident postmortem. Once the incident's complete, push it to published, and then you're able to actually export it to Confluence so you can share it with the wider organization. You just want to select a specific space and then a parent page and export it to that space. It takes a few moments, and then you have it in Confluence to share with your entire organization. So that concludes our live demo. The whole purpose of leveraging Opsgenie is to really cut down on alert fatigue, put as much information at your team's fingertips so they can take rapid action, enables you to learn from each incident, prevent them from happening again, and provide better always-on service for your customers. That concludes the webinar. Thanks for joining us. If you're joining the live version of this webinar, we're going to answer as many questions as possible. If you're watching the on-demand version, feel free to post your questions in the community, as we mentioned. If you need support, you can chat with a member of our support team using the blue intercom chat bubble when logged into the app. You can also reach out at support.atlassian.com. If you're not using Opsgenie yet, you can sign up for a free trial or for our free version on Atlassian.com. Thanks again for taking time out of your day to join us. Take care.